Hello everybody, this is David Lobenstein for your next installment of COVID Care. Today we are going to be having some fun with feet.
Yay!
And this is my special guest, my wonderful boy, Quentin, my heart and my soul. He has generously donated his feet to the cause today. And, he's 11, which means that he knows everything. So, at any point, if you hear any, snickering in the background, it's because, I'm doing something wrong, naturally. So, let's get started. Quento, can you lie down? Oh, see, he's already snickering. We haven't even started yet. So, let's first talk about the reality of foot massage. The reality of foot massage is that you're lying on the couch. And if you are lucky enough to have a partner or a demanding child like I do, said person plops down next to you, sticks their feet in your lap and says, "Oh, can you just rub?" And then you go, "Ugh." And because you love that person, or at least don't want them to be more mad at you than they already are, you agree. And then what happens is something like this. And then they say ow, and then your thumbs start to hurt, and then nobody is happy, okay? So we're going to do things differently today, and I'm going to show you how. See, more snickering, more snickering. Okay, the first key is never massage when your when your partner is lying on the couch and has your feet in your lap like this, okay? There's no way to do it in a way that doesn't stress your thumbs and your hands. And this is the key to giving a good foot massage. You want it to feel as easy for you, the giver, as it feels good for the receiver. So the way that's going to work is you're going to face their feet, okay? So as you get your partner ready, right, take off their socks, get rid of that, fuzz between their toes, right? Have them lie down, preferably on a bed, but it can also be on a couch. But then the key is that you want to get a chair, right, or a yoga ball, say, that allows you to face them directly, okay? Because what we're going to see is all of these techniques are easier, they feel better for you, and they actually feel better for your partner. We're paused, sorry. They'll feel better for your partner and for you if you can actually do the technique using you. Sorry, keep on pausing, I'm not sure why. We're going to, everything's going to feel better if you can do the technique using your whole upper body, okay? So, everything that we do today is going to actually happen from your hips, okay? So, Quentin, can you back up just slightly so your feet aren't hanging off? Good. What I find is is having them lie diagonally on the bed. That means that you can place your legs around the bottom corner of the bed, and you can get close to them, but you can still have space to move, okay? That's it. Again, you're sitting upright, so you're essentially sitting on your sits bones, right? You're not slouched backwards in the chair, because then, again, the only option that you have is to do all that work with your fingers and your thumbs that you don't want to do, okay? So you're sitting upright on your sits bones, and you're thinking of your hips as the hinge. So everything that we're going to be doing is going to be coming from moving at our hips and moving the entirety of our upper body. The key here, right, the reason why this is going to be a thumbs up massage that you are going to give is that you're never actually going to be moving your thumbs, okay? None of the techniques that we're going to do actually come from any movement at the thumb joint, okay? All of them come from moving those bigger joints, those bigger muscles through the upper body. Those are what can do this work minute after minute after minute without getting achy. That's it. So think about a spot where you can get your partner comfortable, okay? If you're alone, don't fret. We're also going to show some self-care modifications to do this work too, okay? And then let's get started. I've got my rusty, trusty sheet here. We are going to work on 5 techniques today. We are going to do floppy ankles. We're going to do chicken wings. We're going to stretch the spots. We are going to do some undulation separation, and then, last but not least, we are going to milk the toes. You want to hear snickering? There we go. I also want to point out that this is great for everybody because I believe that the feet carry, they carry a lot of us, right? Not only are we always using the feet, but I find they're also a spot that holds a lot of tension for a lot of us. So doing a foot massage, even if you don't really know what you're doing, can be incredibly relaxing, and I think can have a systemic effect, can alter the nervous system in general, right, in a way that will make your partner very happy. Quentin will deny this, but oftentimes when I give him foot massage at night, he falls fast asleep, even though he's 11 and knows everything. So, that said, let's get started. Make sure you are set up. If your partner is not comfortable having their legs flat against the bed, you can also bunch up just a regular old bed pillow, slide it under their knees so that their legs are a little bent. That'll take some of the strain off of their hamstrings and their lower back, okay? So, first things first, technique number 1, floppy. I'm going to be giving you this extreme close-up here so you can see what I'm doing, okay? For the first technique, floppy ankles, I'm going to ask Quentin to move his foot out of the way. You do not need to do this. Sorry about this poor connection, guys. So, you do not need to ask your partner to move their... All you're going to do is take the two sides of your hands. You're going to wrap those sides of your hands around the ankle right in front of the Achilles tendon here, and you're just going to shake them back and forth. The idea is to make the toes and the whole foot flop a little bit back and forth, okay? This is to just introduce your touch, right? To just start with the relaxation, okay? Everything that I'm going to be doing here, you can do on both feet. Your partner will be far more appreciative if you, rather than just doing it on one foot, okay? But for our sakes, I'm just going to demonstrate on one foot, okay? So, floppy ankles. That is technique number 1. Next, we've got technique number 2, chicken wings. This is one of my favorites. I neglected to say, I do not advocate that you actually put oil or cream on the person's feet. I advocate instead, especially since our hands are so damn dry all the time right now from all the hand washing we're doing, yay, washing your hands, is that you just put a little bit of your favorite lotion, I prefer, and then you just rub that lotion into your hands. That'll give you just a tiny bit of glide on their feet without you having so much glide that you're just slipping all over the place, because that doesn't... So, let's get at the chicken wings. The key here... This is really frustrating. Sorry about this poor connection, you guys. The key with the chicken wings is that you are placing your thumbs anywhere on the bottom of the feet, okay? The bottom of the foot. Both thumbs. And you're going to be going back and forth, almost like a milking motion, okay? All the way from the heel up to the balls of the feet, up to where the toes are, okay? This is really easy to do that hurts your thumbs, So we're going to avoid that. And that's where the chicken wing comes in. You're doing this whole thing by moving your whole arms. Okay? You are essentially creating chicken wings with your arms. Does that make sense? Your thumbs are staying in one place. Okay? Sorry, your thumbs are staying in one position, and you're making the movement not by doing that, right? Because we're never going to be moving. Instead, we're going to be using. Hey guys, could you try turning off some of your wireless connections? It keeps pausing. Thanks. Sorry guys, I just asked my device heavy family just if they could shut down some of their wireless. So let's see if that helps the connection here. So again, you're making this movement by moving your whole chicken wings back and forth. So I am sliding my thumbs across Quentin's feet, but I'm doing so without any effort in the thumb joint. That's right. If you're lucky enough to have an 11-year-old for a client, your client has already started to give you advice about what you should be doing. So I'm going to move from the heel. With each motion, I'm going to be coming ever so slightly higher, so that after several strokes, I'm coming all the way toes. So see, I'm now at the balls of the feet, working all the way from the heel, stroke by stroke by stroke by stroke, up to the balls. Now, key here is that with your partner, you always want to make. I think the whole world is on the internet right now. Sorry. You always want to make sure that the work feels good to your partner. Okay? Especially when you're working on a kid or you're working with someone with really tense feet, these techniques can get very deep very quickly. So, as you're making your chicken wings, just look at your partner and get some feedback from them. Quentin's saying, I'm going too hard, right? He's wrong, by the way. I'm just joking. Your partner is never wrong. So, it's very easy to just lighten your pressure slightly, but continue to do the same movement. The other thing that you can do is you can slow down the chicken wing, which can make it feel even more delicious. Okay? Quentin loves when I use the word delicious to refer to massage techniques. So, if you want to get fancy here, you can even do the chicken wing up and down, okay? So you can have one thumb at the balls of the feet, one thumb further down, and do the same chicken wing, bringing those thumbs closer together. But again, the action is happening at your shoulders. Your thumb joints are remaining neutral. Your elbows are remaining neutral. All of the action is happening at your shoulders. And that's how you can do this for as long as your wonderful partner requires. Got it? So that is chicken wings. Next, we have technique number 3. Stretch the spots. This is where, if you're not doing this massage with a clear awareness of your partner starts to say, ow. Okay? We all know that we have spots of tension, right, along our feet, in particular along the this huge arch, right? Some of us have, plantar fasciitis, all kinds of other stuff. Others of us just have, let's be honest, tight feet, right? So you want to do this very sensitively, okay? But when you do this very sensitively, it can be particularly delicious. So let's all say that you guys are working on your partner's right foot. Switch now to the right foot because that'll make it easier for you to hear my instructions. You're going to take your right hand, right, and specifically your right thumb, you're going to place it just above the heel. That makes sense to everybody? Okay. Now, the way that we stretch the spots is first, we sink the foot into our thumb. So using your left hand on the top of the foot, you're just going to bring that left hand down. So you're levering the foot into the point of contact, into that right thumb. Okay? Quento, you feel okay here, or is this a little too intense? Okay. Just this was a little too intense for Quentin, which is a good example of how quick it is to make it too intense, right? So again, very little and slow movements. But this pumping motion is often far better than just digging your thumb into the foot, which is how we usually give a massage, right? With this pumping motion, your partner will know that there is this nice back and forth. There's not just that constant pressure that they have to go and endure because they don't want you to stop, touching them, right? So here, you can touch them nicely, okay? So as you do this pumping motion, you can move your right thumb a little higher and higher and higher. Once again, coming all the way up to the balls of the toes, okay? This pumping motion you can do anywhere along the bottom of the foot. So coming up towards the pinky toe, coming up the middle, the center of the foot, and then coming up all the way towards the big toe. Okay? So that pumping will be good. You just want to feel for where those tight spots are, and then let yourself slow down even further into those tight spots and continue that very easy pumping motion. Okay? Now what's really nice is as these spots start to release as you're doing this pumping motion, you can then stretch those areas. Again, very gently. You're keeping your right thumb in exactly the same place. The only thing you're doing differently now is with this left hand, you are coming around, grasping the toes nice and gently, and then you are bringing the toes up towards the partner's head. And now, once again, remember, the movement's happening with your whole upper body. You're just sinking your thumb. You're just sinking your thumb into those spots as you... Sorry about this connection, guys. As you stretch with that other hand. If this stretching of the spots is, instead, just do the first part. Just do this pumping, okay, where you're bringing the top of the foot onto your thumb, okay? This may not seem like much, but hopefully, as your partner is already feeling, you can generate a tremendous amount of pressure, essentially as much or as little as they need, with very little effort on you, right? Because your thumb is not actually doing anything. And especially for those folks who have really specific tight spots, you can just sink. And because you're introducing that slow, gentle movement, you're lulling them into relaxation rather than just digging and jabbing. So that is technique number 3, stretch the spots. Now, we're going to move on to technique number 4, undulation separation. The key here is we think of this foot as like this big old block, right? Often a big old smelly block. I love you, Quentin. But the foot is actually this phenomenally bunch of bones and muscles and connective tissue in between, right? So in our shoes, most of the time, all of that is just squished together, right? So a key part to giving an amazing foot massage is actually to separate those elements. So here, what we're going to do is, remember, we're staying with this right foot, okay? We're going to create imagine that you're holding a sandwich, right? But that sandwich is the partner's foot, okay? So your fingers are going to be on the top of the foot, right? Your thumbs are going to be on the bottom, okay? So all you want to do is find the bone that comes from the big toe, right, down towards the ankle. Then find the bone next to it, okay? The metatarsal that comes down off of the second toe and goes towards the ankle. That makes sense? You're going to sink into the space between those two toe bones, okay? And then you're just going to undulate up and down. So of separating the first toe bone from the second toe bone. That makes sense? I'm using this undulation to separate the two toes. I'm thinking of this like a wave. And then I can move my fingers just, say, 1/4 of an inch. So now I'm holding the second toe bone and the third toe bone, okay? And that space, I'm thinking of that space in between the second and the third, and I am undulating, I'm creating that wave so that I am separating, okay? My hands are kind of at a funny angle here so you can see, but normally I would be like this, and I would just be moving nice and easy with my whole body. Remember, fingers and thumbs are not doing anything. They're just holding here. You feeling okay, Q? Okay. That was Quentin's little sister who's contributing her own, joy to this demonstration. Then you're going to go between the third and the fourth toe bones, and you're going to do the same thing. And then last but not least, between the fourth and the fifth, okay? You can also do this more generally if you want to and just hold all the way across anywhere on the top and bottom of the foot, okay? I find the top of the foot is actually the most neglected part of the foot when we give a foot massage, and it will never complain about the any love or attention that you give. So after you've done this undulation separation, if you want, find those spaces between the toe bones, and you can just sink with the tips of your fingers from the toes all the way down towards the ankles, just running along those spaces, okay? We have another special guest, my daughter Kitsune, who's trying to get in on the foot action here. So that is undulation separation. Last but not least, we have technique number 5, milk the toes. Because what's a foot massage if we don't give a little love to the toes? For this technique, I like to stand up. Because what we're going to do here is, I think this feels especially good if we use both feet at the same time, okay? So right hand on your partner's left foot, and then left hand on the partner's right foot. Does that make sense? The one's right in front of you, okay? So all you're going to be doing is, you're going to be making a little clamp, right, between your thumb and the curve of your forefinger here, right? Similar to those, right, puppets that we used to draw, right, on our hands that I talked about in the first demo last week, okay? So all we do is we place our thumb along the top of the pinky toe. That curve of the forefinger is going to come underneath the pinky toe. We're going to be doing the exact same thing with the other hand too, but you won't be able to see that. And then all you're going to do is just lean ever so slightly back in your hips. Does that hurt? Oh, wow. Quentin is a dancer, so his feet see a lot. Thank you for the feedback, Quentin. So you're going to do that even more gently if that feels like too much. Okay? You can just squeeze the toe. You can squeeze ever so slightly, come to the fingernail, and then move to the second toe. Exact same position. Your thumb is along the toe. The curve of your forefinger is underneath the toe. And then you're just milking. You're squeezing ever so slightly and leaning back. You can hang out there for as long as you want and then move to the third one. Aww. Now, clearly, my children already know how to milk it, because come on. How cute is that, right? Shameless, you two. Shameless. And then we're going to move to the next toe, slight squeeze, and then leaning back with your whole body. Second to last toe, and then last but not least to the big toe. The key here is that full body lean. You don't want them to feel like you're jerking them with your arm, but you want it to feel smooth and fluid. And that's how these toes are really going to feel like they are appropriately loved. If you want to give a little last bit of love too, after you milk the toes, you can milk the ankles. So you can hold at the Achilles heel, right, just above the ankle bone here, right? So you're not pulling their feet, but you're holding the very base of their legs. Stand up tall, and then just lean back, rocking ever so slightly. That's when Quentin's eyelids flutter, and you know things are going well. And this is a really nice way to end the foot massage and remind the rest of the body that you love it as well. So, if you guys have any questions, please let me know, email or DM or whatever the right acronym is, and I would love to talk further. Next session is going to be this coming Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, as usual. Thank you very much, Quentin, for being a stellar model, and thank you, Kitsy, for your guest appearance. And perhaps the only thing better than completing a foot massage is knowing that your partner is now obligated to give you one. So, you're welcome. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.